What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're gonna have a look at my clan boss draft team. We're gonna check the damage, we're gonna check everything that we need to know about the team, guys. The rotation, the setup, the speeds, the builds, whatever. Unfortunately, we haven't managed to bring it home. But guess what? I had tons of fun, was actually a blast. Big shout out to all of you guys that actually joined in and supported the whole event. Was really nice to see so many of you guys there. Big shout out to That Would Jedi for organizing it, and big shout out to the rest of the people that participated in it. Tons of fun. Go and check over the whole video on That Would Jedi's channel if you want to see who won and everything else that happened if you missed it before. Now let's jump straight into today's topic. I have my run pre-recorded, guys, because I don't have access to the test server anymore, and this is the run that I actually submitted. I'm gonna walk you through the entire process, how is the team working, what exactly to expect out of it. I'm gonna show you the speeds on the calculator and everything. So I have Dracomorph as the stun target, I have Ninja as another damage dealer, we have Seeker, Sir Nicholas, and Warcaster. Ninja and Dracomorph are both in Relentless in this team, so we are going up to turn 50. We're ramping almost 3 million damage per turn. That's absolutely crazy to throw in so much damage per turn. The whole idea why I picked this team is because I was the last one to pick. Everyone picked all the big guns by the time it was my turn. I would have left to pick the Mira myself or something a bit more colorful, but I had to go this way because the big guns were picked and I was not gonna be able to create something that throws in more damage, if not probably, without having some other champions. Now, was it better if I was actually trying to screw some of them over by picking Valkyrie, picking some other champions like Turvold? Maybe. That's something to keep in mind for next time when we're doing it. Now, let me quickly show you the speeds on the calculator before we're gonna jump into the run, guys. So we have the fastest champion, Warcaster, at 278 speed. Second fastest champion is Seeker at 256 speed. Third fastest champion is Dracomorph at 248 speed. Fourth fastest champion is Sir Nicholas at 246. And we have Ninja as the last one at 220 speed. This was a 2-to-1 ratio. Seeker was ensuring that that's how the team is going to work by giving us all that turn meter boost, gaining the extra turn. We had increased attack. So if you guys pay attention to all this, Sir Nicholas was covering from here, Warcaster here, Sir Nicholas here. I didn't have a cleanser, I didn't have anything to help him with the affinity. I really thought about using a Maneater instead of Warcaster. That's something that I'm gonna do probably another time. The only thing why I didn't want it to do that was because I had to manual the entire run and I was just not up for it. I didn't have the time to do it. I just, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Maneater, stay away. Maybe I was gonna be able to find a way so I was able to go on Spirit. If I was able to go on Spirit with this team, I was probably gonna deal 15 more million damage. That's kind of like on a light version. I feel like Ninja and Dracomorph would have melted the Spirit affinity together with Seeker as well. But unfortunately, the team is just not designed for that way. And I don't think I was going to be able to do it even with the Maneater because Sir Nicholas, Warcaster, or whoever is going to be in that spot, they're constantly going to rotate with each other for the turns. And because of it, the skills are going to come in a different order all the time. And I don't think I was going to be able to maintain a way with Maneater to always have his A3 when we have the debuffs from the clan boss. So I feel like that was just kind of like a dream, you know? But these are the speeds, guys. You can adjust some of them up and down. I'm gonna link this in the pinned comments for whoever is curious to try out the team. Make sure you are respecting the teams. Make sure you are respecting the sets. You see I have one speed set. Make sure you're doing the input right here because if no, it's not gonna work. Actually, this was no speed set whatsoever. It was Savage and Immortal. So let me put that on none, just for whoever was curious there. But basically, it's very important to respect this in order to manage to get it right. Let's jump into the run and see what we're gonna get out of it. I'm not gonna walk you through the entire run because I think it was like 20 minutes long, something like that. So we definitely don't want to see all that. I made the most out of their masteries. I made the most out of the way they use their skills. Now, because I wanted to get the most damage out of this team, I kind of like partially manualed Oroth. I always stopped before Dracomorph was getting his turn. Now, the reason for it is because sometimes he doesn't have attack up. And I would prefer to use that defense down and weaken when I don't have the attack up, because I don't actually deal damage with that skill. So when I have the increased attack, I'll be better off by using one of the skills that deal damage. So I always paid attention to that. I always paid attention to land the defense down and weaken before Ninja is gonna go in with his A2, because that ramps around 1 million damage per turn almost. You're gonna see when we're gonna go down the line a bit. Always paid attention to don't overfill the bar with poisons. Whenever he's getting a lot of extra turns, Dracomorph, for example, how he gained that extra turn, he was gonna have probably available his A3. He was gonna try to land defense down and weaken instead of using the A1, and that was gonna cost me 300k plus damage every single time Dracomorph was bringing in the hits. So that was very important. Of course, once the HP on these champions is gonna drop below 50%, we're gonna deal more damage because we're gonna make use of the masteries. We're gaining 5% extra damage, which is actually huge. How I mentioned, if this was an affinity like a spirit, I was able to get so much damage out of it. It was gonna be actually crazy, but unfortunately this doesn't work for spirit, not the way it is anyway. And same with the stun target, depending on what affinity you're gonna play it. If you're gonna play on magic, the stun target should still be fine. If you're gonna play it on force, again, it should be fine. If I was gonna go on spirit, how I mentioned, which is not possible, I was gonna have issues with the stun as well, because the clan boss was gonna stun either Warcaster, either Sir Nicholas, so that was gonna be a massive problem for me. But Dracomorph is doing tons of damage. Sir Nicholas, he doesn't hit that hard. You see, we had all the counter-attack masteries because I had no block buffs, and I needed them to counter-attack whenever the stun lands. I actually had Dracomorphs with different things on. You're gonna see that even though he's the stun target, sometimes he's not gonna get stunned. And what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna get to counter-attack at the same time. The clan boss is gonna hit me to stun. The master is gonna come in play, remove the stun, and the counter-attack, because I got stunned or damaged, is coming in play as well. Which is absolutely amazing, because like that, we came in with a clutch and probably got like 1 million damage from his A1 every time that happened. You know, like 300k now, 300k later, and it added up to around 1 million damage. Ninja hits with his A1 for around 300 to 350k hit. Was pretty much the same with his other skill as well. Seems like I stopped here to check something in the game. I think I wanted to look for a pack. Probably that's why it took me so long, because I kept the game off for like 5 minutes. But let's see, if we're gonna go to around turn 25. We already had 1 key Ultra Nightmare, guys. That takes around 8 minutes and a half to gather. Now, how I mentioned, I think I stopped for like 5 minutes. I got distracted, I was doing something. But here we are. Every time Dracomorph gets his turn, I'm stopping it. You've seen that damage from Ninja. It's absolutely crazy. The damage that he deals with the A2 is like out of this world. He is such a beast of a champion. Even the A1, 360k, plus you have the Warmaster proc, Dracomorph with 325k per hit, and look at all that damage from Ninja. Crazy, actually. Warcaster did okay. You see, exactly what I was telling you. The stun came in play, we removed it. We didn't counterattack because we didn't have any heals on, but was still pretty good. We managed to remove the stun from him, so like this, we actually get to use our skills without wasting a turn, which it does bring out quite a bit of damage. If the more is gonna happen, the better, you know. I found it a bit annoying that I wasn't able to have that defense down constantly. Sometimes Ninja was getting resisted at the wrong moment, or sometimes he was just not placing it, you know, the chance was not proccing, and was literally at the moment when I didn't have that defense down on. And was so annoying because I always felt like, oh my god, I'm losing so much damage, you know, but still I was way off from being in the top 1 or top 2 with the damage for this event, guys. Was a pretty big gap from top 4 and 5, me, and then from the other 2 as well. Was a pretty big gap overall, you know. But still, I'm pretty happy with the results from this team. If we're gonna move a bit more towards the end, let's see where we are. Turn 43, we have 126 million damage. Poisons are pretty important as well, though. Very important to have those poisons from Dracomorph. I feel like maybe if I was bringing in some sort of a different champion, maybe if I was trying a Jintoro with Ninja, I'm curious to see what sort of damage I was gonna get out of it like this. Because I was gonna have the attack aura as well. I was gonna be able to run maybe 2 toxic sets on champions, and maybe I was gonna ramp up a bit of more damage. Unfortunately, this was not a great team to bring in Turvold. You know, I thought at the beginning, let me get Turvold and Ninja instead of Dracomorph, but I feel like I wasn't gonna have enough buffs for Turvold because I was not able to use his A2 with the increased speed, because that was gonna mess up the entire tune here. It's gonna be hard to make it happen with Ninja and with something crazy like that in the team. It's always hard to make your team with Ninja, man, because that A1 can mess you up so damn bad, you know. It's definitely not great. The Relentless procs, they were such a clutch. I've probably done around 10 to 15 runs. That's how many I've done to reach this damage. I think the first one was 138 million, but I knew that I can drop in more. And the reason why I know that is because I've seen the damage just moving around. I've seen Seeker with 20, Sir Nicholas with 16, then drop to 13 or 14. I've seen Ninja with 62, then drop to 58. I've seen Dracomorph with 40, then drop to 37. So I knew that I gotta do extra runs till I kind of try to balance those numbers and maximize the damage. I could still probably get out of this team if the RNG will be on my side and I won't have to mess everything up. I feel like I could probably get around 2 to 3 more million out of all the champions. Maybe even 4 if I squeeze it hard, you know? So like that, I know that sounded weird actually, but I should be able to get it to around 148, 149 million damage. So we actually submitted 145 million, 0.23, guys. We have Dracomorph with 38.5 million damage. He was the stun target, so that explains why he dealt less damage. He missed on turns, right? So he wasn't able to constantly use the skills in the right order. We have Ninja with almost 62 million damage. Pretty damn impressive. Ninja is a very, very strong champion. Tons of damage out of him. Warcaster with 11.2 million damage. And then we have Seeker with 18.8 million damage. Sir Nicholas with 14.5. So that's kind of like what I meant, you see. If I was taking Seeker, 1.2 more million. Sir Nicholas around 1 more million if the RNG was good. Warcaster was kind of like there. With Ninja, I could have gotten around 1 more million with better RNG. And Dracomorph around 1.5 million. But I feel like I needed all the planets to align in order to do that, you know. So I stopped at 145. I wanted to reach 145, you know, that was kind of like my goal. And I'm happy with the result. Even if I didn't win the whole thing, you know, it's fine. I'm happy with the result that I managed to achieve from this team, because everyone said, oh, this team is going to be kept at 120 million. Skratch, you're not going to be able to do more than that. Well, we actually managed to do a lot more than that, you know, so pretty impressed with that. Now, if we're going to quickly show you the builds, guys, let me just quickly find them. So I'm going to start with Dracomorph. I had him on a Relentless and a Cruel set. I actually tried having on him Cleanse accessories. I changed them. I had a nice ring on him, but only with 1 roll on an attack. You know, it was an attack ring with 1 roll on attack. And I was like, you know what? That's an 8% chance to remove the stun. Is that really worth it? This ring that I have on him is a quad attack. So that's pretty solid. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a go like this. Then I was like, okay, we have 16 stuns in the 50 turns, right? I have an 8% chance to remove a stun out of the 16 times and use the skill. I was like, should I pick that or just bring in 300 more attack and just consistently get more damage out of the entire run? So I changed that. Let's see if I'm showing the total stats. Hopefully I've done it because I can't remember. Yeah, so total stats, we have 5,945 attack, 252 speed, 106 crit rate, 256 crit damage, 280 accuracy. Probably some of you guys are wondering, Skratch, why do you have the overkill on crit rate, you know? Unfortunately, I needed speed glyphs in order to knock down the crit rate and to replace pieces of gear without bringing in resistance. 10 resistance equals 1000 player power. So if I was given more resistance on my champions, I was gonna go off the limit from the 350k, and that was definitely not acceptable. So I had to make sure that whatever gear I'm using on my champions doesn't have resistance, or if it has, it barely has any. I was already at the limit with the player power. I was not able to go more than that. Crit rate gives a lot as well, but unfortunately I wasn't able to drop the crit rate from the masteries for the simple fact that I needed to get the right one in order to get the 5% less damage. So you see, instead of going on the attack, I couldn't have gotten here after. I really needed to come here to get a 5% extra damage when we are under 50% HP. Tier 6 we have Warcaster, so that's kind of like the way we went. On the masteries, I actually avoided everything that kind of like mitigates damage. I wanted him to suffer as fast as possible so he gets to counter attack. So we had a mastery right here to remove for a chance to remove one of the CC debuffs, or one of the debuffs when we're dropping 25% HP in a hit. And then we had both of the counter attack masteries, because sometimes he can actually counter attack from it as well. So that was kind of like a Dracomorph, you know. Let's see the next build. I actually saved some on the recording here because I knew that I was gonna have to walk you through the entire process to explain you why I picked those masteries, you know. I actually empowered him on the test server since I had a bit of a room to push the player power. So this is Sir Nicholas, Savage and Immortal. I chose to go on him like this. I needed that Immortal set just to help me a little bit with the stun target, just in case if anything was going wrong. And honestly, it gave me more HP as well, so I cannot complain about the Immortal set. It was actually doing what it needs to do. But we had 91,000 HP, 246 speed, 100 crit rate, 253 crit damage, and that was Sir Nicholas on a Savage set. Pretty solid like this. I had one counter attack accessory. I wish I would have had more, but unfortunately I didn't, and I preferred not to just bring in that 5% chance and sacrificing stats on the champions, you know. I feel like that was gonna be the wrong choice overall. Masteries on him. So, how you've seen on Dracomorph, I actually forgot to mention that I had no life drinker. The reason for it is because he was the stun target. So, everyone else except Dracomorph has a life drinker to make sure they are not becoming the stun target. Some of the champions that don't hit as hard, like Sir Nicholas and Warcaster, they have Immortal sets just to make sure they're not getting in as the stun target. So let's see the next one. What do we have in here? I think I went in based on the speed order, or I can't even remember. No, forget about it. So that's Ninja. Relentless set as well, together with a crit damage set. I don't have any special accessories on him, but we have 6,072 attack, 220 speed, 104 crit rate, 267 crit damage, 250 accuracy. One of the problems that I had was that, again, I had no more speed glyphs left in order to change them and get more crit damage on them while I maintained the same attack. I actually had him on two different builds. I tried to have him with more crit damage but less attack, and he wasn't performing as good, so then I decided to change him completely around, you know. So that was kind of like the build on him. Masteries, the same like the rest, Sir Nicholas and Dracomorph, except he does have the life drinker while Dracomorph doesn't, because I wanted to make sure he's gonna heal more often and he's gonna smack harder, you know, counter attack more often. And in case if we don't have the defense down, he's gonna bring it in for us. That was gonna be very helpful. Now in terms of Seeker, if that's the next champion, no, Warcaster. I couldn't use Warcaster as the lead because he was gonna get targeted as a as the stun, you know, so I needed to avoid that. Before we actually raised the player power cap from 300k to 350, he was half naked. Like, he had no accessories. He was barely doing any damage. I still had a full crit rate on him. So I had to give him in the end 2 immortal sets instead to make sure he is not getting stunned, because I had a bit of an issue with that at the beginning. So once I gave him the second immortal set, that problem fixed. And then we raised the power cap, so then I was able to rebuild him a bit. But I wasn't able to give him a Savage set instead at that speed, because he's pretty fast, right? 278 speed on Savage with no speed glyphs was gonna be extreme, and I just chose not to do it. I only have one counter-attack accessory on him. It didn't proc that often, honestly, so maybe if I would have 3 of them, if I could make everything perfect, it would have been better. But we have 3860 attack, 278 speed, 104 crit rate, 224 crit damage. The crit damage is a bit low on him. Would have been nice if I was going to be able to put in around 30% more. Masteries, identical with the rest, guys. Nothing different. Tier 6 Spore Master. Life Drinker, very important, especially on the champions that don't... They need to avoid the stun target. So Seeker. I actually had 2 different Seekers. You see, I have one next to each other. I had one on Fury and I had one on Savage. So I tried to see which one of them gives me more damage. I always tend to forget what's happening with Fury, but Savage was the way to go. Much better damage. So he actually brought almost 20 million damage, guys. That's definitely very, very solid from a support champion. But we have 4400 attack, 256 speed, full crit rate, 240 crit damage, and that's on Savage and a speed set. In terms of masteries, we had pretty much the exact same thing, you know. There we go. Counter attack and all that. Now, one thing that I've actually done on my account, I'm not sure if the rest of the guys did it or no. I went to my faction guardians, and what I've done, I stopped everyone from here. So I literally removed the champion. I stopped all my bonuses to go away from here. So I only kept the attack. I don't need the resistance and the accuracy. If I'm gonna get that, that's gonna boost my power by a lot. Imagine having that for all the champions. So I actually removed all this from my account, and I only kept the attack, which was important to deal more damage, but not the resistance and the accuracy. If you stop them in the middle, the rest of the stats don't count anymore, or whatever you're gonna stop, you know. I've done this for everybody. That was another thing that gave me a bit of an edge with the player power. I'm not sure if any of them thought about it. I know that they quickly empower champions, and they increase their player power but a lot, just because of the resistance you're gaining from when you're empowering champions. Like, check this out. If we're gonna go right here at total stats, you see, from empowering you're getting 55 resistance. That's 5500 player power just from doing that, you know. It's definitely not worth it to do it on champions, unless you can make a +4 Ninja, +4 Dracomorph. It's gonna be a huge player power on that, but he's worth it because of the extra crit rate and extra crit damage and all the attack, the speed, the accuracy. You're gonna be able to be like a monster with that, you know. So that would be very, very solid if you're gonna be able to do something like that. But yeah, guys, that was everything for my clan boss draft. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. I think I kind of like walked you through the entire process. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below, or jump in my Discord. The link will be down there as well, and we can actually check everything out. I'm gonna link the calculator with everything that you need to know about the speeds. That was all for this video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one.